right? Well, the next is food. You want to enjoy camping, you need some food, and you want something to eat. The Spirit of God is our spiritual food. Paul writes this to Timothy. Very next verse 7, says this, "For the Spirit God gave us does not make us timid, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline." Gives us power, love, and self-discipline. The Spirit of God is our spiritual food. He gives us power, love, and self-discipline. Food. Have you ever cooked a hot dog over a fire? Man, there's just something about a hot dog on an open flame. Now, guys, you don't have to worry. We'll have the hot dogs cooked for you. We're not having open flames out there. You can just walk by, pick up your hot dog, and eat it as appetizer on the way to lunch. But, man, there's just something about like cooking a hot dog over an open flame. Like, I think it tastes even differently than even cooking it on a grill. Probably because of propane versus, wood. The flames are different, so it tastes different. But, man, there's just something about cooking. And this is what we did. Growing up, we would go camping. We cooked all of our food over the fire. And just, you got to turn this baby just right because, you don't want to burn it. It doesn't, a little crispy on the outside. But, you just got to find that perfect distance to keep, the hot dog away from. You kind of turn it like you got your own. It's a lot of work. Like, let's be honest. Cooking your own food over the fire is a lot of work. You got to sit there and you got to turn it. And you're like, how long's this one stinking hot dog? Like, you're hungry. You could probably eat 2 or 3. But after sitting there, you're like, okay, one's good. Like, that's why you lose weight when you go camping, just because it just takes too much work to cook, a hot dog over a fire. But it tastes good and it nourishes your body. Well, spiritually, what are you feeding yourself? Because you're feeding yourself something. All right? You're either feeding your flesh or you're feeding your spirit. So you're feeding yourself something. The question is, what are you feeding yourself? We all know that there's plenty of unhealthy food, right? And man, why? I don't know. Unhealthy food always tastes better. I don't understand it. It's kind of annoying, especially when you're trying, to eat healthy. It's like, asparagus, or French fries. It's like, do I even really have to pick, like, asparagus? And Susie's like, but if you put it in butter and you have to work that hard to make asparagus taste good. Like, I'd rather just I know I should eat this, but the unhealthy food, right? You eat those, hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, all the fried bad food for you. It tastes really good at the time, doesn't it? Like touching your lips, you're like, oh, I'm sorry, guys, for making you a little bit hungry here. But, it tastes really good. It's satisfying. But guess what? You pay the price later, don't you? You pay the price for eating that unhealthy food later, usually in terms of pounds that we don't want. Like, we're trying to, shed the pounds, but we eat this unhealthy food, and all of a sudden, we pay for it later. The same is true with us spiritually. It is often we go for the unhealthy, right? We go to satisfy our flesh, which, man, it feels good at the time, but we pay the price later. Maybe emotionally, maybe mentally. We pay the price later on. Paul tells us, when you feed your spirit with your devotional life and attending church and, man, having a prayer time, when you feed your spirit, God gives us power, love, and self-discipline. I think I can use all 3 of those a little bit more in my life. I need some power. You need power to go to work, right? To live out the gospel that God has called. Like, I need some power so that I can live the way God has called me to live. To be the husband that God has called me to be, the father that God has called me to be. To parent. You need some power in my life. And when you feed yourself spiritually, Paul tells us, you will receive power. He's going to give you some power. Love. God's going to give you love when you feed yourself spiritually. He's going to give you the ability to love people that are hard to love. Let's be honest. There's people that are hard to love, right? Like, it's okay, kind of, you can nod it. Like it's okay. There are some people that are hard to love, and what you do when you feed yourself spiritually, giving you power, but it's also giving you love to help you love the people that are a little bit hard to love, that kind of drive you a little bit crazy, that kind of push and test your patience, it seems like, at every single turn. And so God gives you love, but then he gives you some self-discipline, and I know we can all use help. with self-discipline, right? In growing as a believer, growing as a man or a woman, growing my prayer life. Like I need some help, some self-discipline to get up early, to stay up late, to do whatever I need to do so that I can feed my spirit, to resist temptation. Like I need some help so that I can resist the temptation. And so when you feed your spirit, what you're doing is giving your power, love, and self-discipline to resist temptation, to resist sin. And when we have the essential of the spiritual food, right, we're feeding ourselves, God gives us power, love, and self-discipline. So fire, food, man, those are great. Like it helps you stay warm. The fire, right, helps you stay warm. And the food, it feeds your body.